I'm going to repeat the news that broke a couple of minutes ago. The White House says President Biden will hold a video call at 3 p.m. today with European leaders. This is in response to Russia's presence around the Ukraine border. When that news came out, the market just turned south all over again. Look at this. The Dow is now down 940 points. That's 2.7%. The Nasdaq is down well over 3.7%. That's a gigantic decline. And you've got a 2.5% decline for the S&P. That news about Russia is really upsetting the market. Criticism of the president doesn't stop there. The New York Times editorial board writes this. Mr. Biden, however, has contributed to his own political woes. Through much of the fall, the president and other officials seem to be downplaying the dangers of inflation. Mr. Biden's insistence on this implausible narrative may be contributing to a sense that he's not taking inflation seriously. And Chuck Todd over at NBC is criticizing the president, saying he lacks competence and he's not effective. So, Joe Concha with me now. Is the president beginning to lose the media, Joe?
Oh, yes, Stuart. I can answer that definitively. When the New York Times turns on you, the New York Times hasn't endorsed a Republican presidential candidate in 65 years. Right. So when you lose them, that's a problem. And they're right. It goes back to the importance of messaging. The cardinal rule of politics and sales: under promise, over deliver. And the president and his team, led by Klain and Psaki, they didn't do that. As you said, they insisted inflation was transitory for months. Now it's probably going to be here through 2023. They declared victory over the supply chain by saying that Mr. Biden and Pete Buttigieg saved Christmas, and now we see that that's going to be around probably till 2023. Homicides in city after city continue to skyrocket. The border remains essentially open, and Democrats continue to side with teachers' unions over parents. Afghanistan's a terrorist Disneyland, and we see how aggressive Russia has become as it pertains to Ukraine. And while the market's nearly down, 1,000 points now, right, almost. Yeah. So Democrats, if they continue down this road, and if Mr. Biden doesn't make any changes in terms of perhaps letting go of his chief of staff and Klain, or just going about this differently the way Bill Clinton pivoted, he's in serious trouble. The party is doomed. 100
million Americans have a piece of the stock market action, usually through their 401k. Middle America is sitting back right now and seeing their 401ks trashed. The Dow is down 900 points, S&P down, et cetera, et cetera. You see it. Now, that to me means that this sell-off, because of the war talk in Russia, is a political liability come November for the president. What say you?
Oh, big time, Stuart, because remember, he said at that press conference, that disastrous press conference just last week, that a minor incursion would be okay. And then they had to send out half their administration to clean that up. But at that point, that Vladimir Putin must have liked to have heard that. The Ukrainians are angry and now European leaders are alarmed. So, yeah, this is the consequences of having a president that, you know, Chuck Todd said that people now see Biden as incompetent. I think this goes all the way back to August, and that incompetent and deadly withdrawal from Afghanistan. Now, only 22% of the country thinks we're on the right track, Stuart. I'd love to meet those 22% sometime.
Yeah, who are they? Forgive me for going backwards, but I want to play the tape with Chuck Todd, NBC, says President Biden is no longer seen as competent and effective. Just watch this.
Okay. Our new NBC News poll suggests Mr. Biden does need a reset. He's no longer seen as competent and effective. He's no longer seen as a good commander-in-chief, or perhaps most damaging, as easygoing and likable.
I'm sure you've got a lot to say about this, but give it to me in 20 seconds, Joe Concha.
On CBS, they actually did a panel with, just average voters and said, the question was asked by Brennan, the anchor, do you think the country's better off than it was 1 year ago? And none of them raised their hands. It was something like 8 people. So you have CBS, NBC, New York Times. Mr. Biden has lost the media. He has lost his party, and they're going to lose big time 11 months from now.
That was 25 seconds, but we accept that. Joe Concha, you're all right, sir. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
It was.
Fix this watch.